I'm very honored to welcome Judit Oláh from the amazing documentary Return to Epipo, a film which I saw a while ago, and it really you mesmerized me by the subject, by the way you did the film, and the subject of the film. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, could you take us back to how did you start a film like that, and what's the content of the film? People have seen it just now, but just a little summary.
Yeah, so it's about the summer camp where I used to go as a child for 4 times, 4 summers of my childhood, and it stayed a very strong and mixed memory for many years, which I never really thought about. And once my own daughter started to be bigger, and we started to talk about summer camps, it just started to come back to me, all the mixed memories. And then in 2014, this article came out about the organizer of the camp. So I learned from this article that he was sexually abusing teenagers, and of course it really shocked me, this fact. And then I understood that many others actually knew about it or heard some gossips and so on, but I knew nothing until the article. So this was, I think, the most important turning point for me to decide that I have to deal with this subject in some way.
And there was a connection, as we've seen in the film. I think the opening scene, for that reason, is really strong. It. What was the moment you hear that that's terrible, and did you ring people who have been to the camp as well, or how did that process go from reading an article, your daughter wanting to go to the summer camp, and then to make a film on this, because that's quite something else.
Yeah, well, when the article came out, within a few hours, a Facebook closed group started where the organizers started to look for the people who used to go to the summer
wow.
camp. So there were already, within a few hours, around 80 people online.
Really?
And everybody started to, of course, to have a dialogue on the subject. And what really surprised me back then, that very soon the topic moved from the sexual abuse to the stories that to all the bullying and all the other misuse of power that was going on in the camp. So it became very clear for me that it's really important here that there are steps before the sexual abuse that was not clear for anyone actually who used to go there.
And you build that up in the film as well, as we just have been witnessed. Yeah, but then to talk about it, to have a Facebook group, etc., is one, but then to make a film is a completely different thing. So how did you approach the people? That's one question, and the other would be the form you choose. I thought was really incredibly strong. So how did you do these two steps?
Yeah, well, first I of course I had the idea of very soon that I should be making a film, being a filmmaker, but I had really no idea about the form, because I was kind of sure that I don't want to use only interviews. I wasn't sure how much archive material we have, but the first steps were to try to connect with the people and to convince them that it would be a very important thing to talk about this whole topic in a film. And I think that was the most difficult part, to convince anyone. Maybe there were one or two people who were directly happy, I mean, open to the fact of the filmmaking, but to convince the others who took part in the psychotherapy, drama therapy, it took years, and the sexual victims even more.
Yeah, of course. So in total, how many years have you been working on the film?
Well, in total, from the first idea until the end was about 4 years. Um, but yeah, I mean, the first few years was more to find the way that's more the most suitable for this story, and to find the people who are willing to do this journey with me. And then when I thought that this psychodrama would be a very good way to deal with this, I had to find the psychotherapist also who were open enough to have it filmed, because the ones I found always, of course, told me that yeah, they are happy to do a therapy with the ex children,
Yeah,
but they are not open to film it because it's out of question that it changes the attitude of people and whatsoever. So I had to find Julia and Zoltan, who were professional enough and brave enough
absolutely. Yeah.
to come on board and to do this with us.
Yeah, I can understand that completely. And how was it in terms of to edit this all together? I mean, with all the different forms of filming you had, how was that to where you put the emphasis? What was your goal during the editing phase?
Yeah, the editing was quite tough because we had so much material. But yeah, I think for me, the dramaturgical arc was the most important thing to invite people to this story the same way as we experienced this whole thing. Like seeing first the magic, and then step by step learning about the misuses of power. I think that was the most important idea during the editing. But to find the right images was, of course, a very difficult word to do.
Difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And how was it for everybody? At a certain point, the film was ready. I mean, I thought the ending was amazing that your daughter did go to the you waved her goodbye, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I assume I'm pretty sure actually that you showed the film to every participant who appears in the film. How was that? How was it to see it all together? What did it
Yeah,
move, mean?
I showed it separately to the sexual victims, and
Okay.
separately to the group members, as they didn't as we didn't mix them in the film. We didn't mix them
No.
in reality either, because they didn't want to. Actually, I mean, the sexual victims didn't want to meet the others in that sense. And also, my parents watched it separately.
Yeah, they had to, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and but with the group, the psychodrama group, it was very interesting that we watched it together before the world premiere. So it was long before we showed it in Hungary, maybe 6 months earlier. We
Okay.
watched it together, and even though we had debates on the film for quite a while, and they were much afraid of, because there are many participants, which I'm not sure if it's clear enough from the film, but there are many participants in the group who actually loved this camp, and even
No,
now,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
even now they are like super attached to this type of summer camps. So I was quite afraid how they will react on the fact that the film shows the dark part. I mean, I always told them, but to see it is a different thing.
Yeah.
But then when we watched it together, the sensation was that all of them were happy with the result,
Oh,
and all of them were like, yeah. I mean, we had a really nice talk after, but all of them were satisfied. And
that's
then
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and we were very happy because yeah. But
Yeah.
then the 6 months passed, and we showed it in Hungary on HBO Europe. It started to be aired, and it just blew the media in Hungary. I mean, it became a
What
huge.
happens? Yeah, sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, it became really, really huge. And the participants, I think they were quite shocked that it became such a, we were in the spotlight for weeks. It was also shocking for me, actually, because I wasn't prepared enough for such a spotlight.
And could you take us, I mean, could you take us back to the sort of reactions that it became huge? It was first, obviously, it's been world premiered at CPH Dog last year. It was in at Sarajevo Film Festival, although online already, which makes it, I don't know if it made it different. And then it's on HBO Europe. And what were the reaction? What has been, so to speak, the impact of the film?
So the reactions only came when it was showed in Hungary.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
When HBO Europe started to air it in, I think it was October,
Yeah.
and well, it was like all over the media for weeks.
And what did they write? What were the reactions?
Yeah, so there were very, very. Of course, we had very nice critics. But on the other hand, we had many people who were totally outraged by the film, because it's a very, even until now, there's a very, very strong tradition in the Hungarian elite with this type of summer camps. So even now, there are like, I think more than 20 summer camps that are based on the same kind of
principle.
Yeah. And even now it's more for the elite, for the Hungarian elite, and they just didn't want to take in the message or whatever. They were like, they felt they are all defending.
Offended. They were offended by the fact that you showed in the Netherlands, you have this expression, say we showed her the dirty laundry.
Yeah.
So that you showed what was also going on, and they felt like offended. This is their thing, and you should not attach. It's a bit like with the church, right? The moment they speak up, it's a bit of the same mechanism, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So I got many like I don't know, even like hundreds of emails and messages also threatening me,
Really?
and
what were the threats? What were the threats?
Like, I'm going to destroy you and your film, and it's like there was one guy who's quite a well-known radio man,
presenter, or reporter,
and he made, I think, like three programs only on the film, each for 1 or 2 hours, so super long talks on the film. He tried to find the, I don't know, like he had this theory that because I sent my child to a summer camp, I'm also a very bad parent. And then he started to investigate my, my life and my,
Wow.
Very, very strange. Like why he himself felt that he was offended with this film. And this was for me the most important, the most interesting part in this whole story, because I felt that the film somehow touched so many people in different ways that it just they just couldn't take it in. And also, I mean, and of course the people,
it is very painful, of course. Sorry, the people, you go ahead.
Yeah, the people who went to this exact camp, I mean Epipo, they also, most of them felt that the film is not telling the truth. This is not objective. This is and it should be objective because it's a documentary. I mean, this is also, I mean, it's important that in Hungary, I think documentary is not a very well-known form. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
people think that it's the same as journalism, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
that is a subjective point of view, and I think everything is subjective in the world anyway, but that's another
yeah.
discussion. But for you, it's your story. You went to that camp, and this is what happened to a lot of children there and then. Was there did things? I mean, it's pretty shocking to hear, but it's not so shocking in a way if you take the parallel to what's happening within the church. That still they're covering up, saying it's not really
Yeah.
happening, etc., etc. So that's what we do know. But you would think in a summer camp, and also after the whole Me Too, and I mean that's why I'm extremely honored that your film is showing at our festival, because I think we really have to keep on addressing these issues, and your film is a huge contribution to that. It's painful, but a huge contribution to that. So on that note, um, did you get reactions from the camps now saying we were aware of that, or we weren't aware of that, or we have measures now that this could never ever happen again, or something like, I mean, in terms of, so the impact, let's say, after the film was huge, but was there also another impact like that it may change laws, or they took other measures within the camp to be sure that kids are safe again while going to a camp like your daughter is going now?
Yeah. Well, in on this matter, I hope it will happen, but I think it's also like it's a smaller, or it's a slower
Yeah.
thing to happen. They, I think they all need time. This was also an issue that actually laws are, because we have a very strange government in Hungary, which I'm of course also not friends with.
No, I can
But
understand.
but the fact that we don't have a law that actually regarding for summer camps in Hungary,
Okay.
anyone can make a summer camp.
Oh,
If I,
really?
yeah, you don't need any paper,
Certificate, regulations,
any
safety.
nothing.
Oh, okay.
One day
And
I can wake up with the idea that I'm making a summer camp for for children, and I can just do it without any
oh,
anything.
wow. And I mean, it's that would maybe be a dream for you. It's not so that due to the fact you have made this film that it's changing.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't hope for for laws to change, because I really don't want to be on the side of the government and changing laws with them. But this is a lack of this is not right. But on the other hand, I really hope that people who are organizing summer camps are starting to be more conscious, and I think it happens, but it happens very slowly. And I think the first step is to feel offended.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah,
and
but that's the thing with misuse. We have another film, as you know, All That I Am, and it's such a taboo we all know about, but the moment it's been spoken out, that's why there are not that many strong documentaries, because I think it's so difficult for many parties, isn't it, to
yeah,
acknowledge the fact in itself. So that's what you did amazingly. And going back to you, so then at the end, your your daughter did go to the camp. How was that for you? I mean, what I heard, you had a really beautiful quote on that in an interview. What did it mean in the end of the day for you?
well, it was important for me to let her go, and yeah, I think it was also very important for me to finish the film with the with this thought that
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the end, this is what we have to do, even if we have fears.
You're
I
brave.
I hope we have a relationship with my daughter, that she can trust me, and that and also that she knows what is right and what is not right. She knows her boundaries quite well.
Yeah.
But the fact is that she didn't like that camp, and
Oh,
and she didn't ever go again to summer camp.
okay, okay, but that was,
Or-
but that's okay. But it was her choice. Maybe the message of the film, apart from addressing the whole issue for you, is as well, if I I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that it's important to, if you see a film like this, I mean, I've got 3 kids, and I think I'm very open with them, but you never know that you're come to the point that you can safely bring them somewhere. If they feel something goes wrong, that you can rely on the fact that they will tell you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or am
Yeah.
I?
Yeah. And also, as you are saying, you never know. I mean, at the end of the day, anything can happen. And sure. the solution is not that I lock them. I mean, actually, after, because of this whole pandemic, this is what's happening. They are locked in the house. And
but there's a lot going wrong in the houses now, as we know, during the pandemic, which is very scary as well. I mean, it's very scary.
It is.
I mean, it's amazing. I applaud you so much. I think you're such a brave lady. You're a fantastic filmmaker. And I hope many, many people will see the film and think, and it will be shown around the world on festivals and everything. Because if you talk about film and impact, you made an amazing film. So, sort of last question. Yeah, of course. And what is your next project? Where can we look forward to? From a amazing film?
Just the very, very beginning of development. I started to shoot with a fantastic family that's been traveling all around the world throughout their lives, and they have thousands of hours of Super 8 images. So I'm back to the archive footages because I really love working with archive footages. Yeah. So we'll see how it will.
So that is an epos of a family. It's not a very specific subject as your film, as Return to Epipo is. You'll see.
No, it's a family story, yeah. But
it's there a family epos.
There are secrets, of course, and there are.
There always are. There always are secrets in families. Dearest Judith, I thought it was amazing to talk to you, to know that you make a film from such a personal starting point and opening up, that you got all your participants from at the time being at the camp to do this sort of therapy with a camera, with a therapist. It's like mind-blowing, strong, and really important. And I just hope if there are other festival programmers listening, that they pick up your film, because it should be shown everywhere, and have you talk, because I'm highly, highly impressed. Thank you so much. and we see each other somewhere around the globe, and that next time let's make it to be a promise that it'll be live. Maybe at Movies That Matter, maybe somewhere else. Thank you so much, and stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.